NFL just keeps snubbing the Buffalo Bills. Well, last night was the NFL honors and Lamar Jackson wins NFL MVP. And what we could see here is that Josh Allen was the only other player to receive a first place vote. It was unanimous that Lamar Jackson had 49 of the 50 first place votes for the NFL MVP. And in my mind, this is absolutely crazy. Josh Allen having more total touchdowns, I believe having to deal with more on his plate this year, considering all the injuries on the defensive side of the ball, having to travel to London. Just think about it. Firing our offensive coordinator, promoting Joe Brady. Baltimore Ravens stayed healthy all year long. Lamar Jackson relied on his defense, a prolific defense. We were without Trey White. We were without Matt Milano. Von Miller showed up more than halfway through the season. I mean, it was just a battle, and all the guys that went down throughout the year, talk about complimentary football. Josh Allen had to put more on his back in 2023 than Lamar Jackson. And when you listen to what MVP stands for, most valuable player in the NFL, Josh Allen was clearly a more valuable player in the NFL to the Buffalo Bills, winning 5 of their last 5 regular season games, going into the playoffs, winning in the playoffs. This was an amazing season from Josh Allen. And it's crazy to think that Josh Allen finished 5th on this list. He even had the only first place vote, but he only finished with 80 total points. He finished 5th in the MVP voting, behind Dak Prescott, behind Christian McCaffrey, behind Brock Purdy, and then it was Josh Allen. To me, Josh Allen clearly was the most valuable player in the NFL. Josh Allen finished with the most overall fantasy points in the NFL, proving that he had the most impact offensively for any player in the league. When you take a look at his passing touchdowns, his rushing touchdowns, rushing yards, passing yards, even you take into account his interceptions and sacks, he still finished with the highest total fantasy points of any player in the NFL. And here we have it. Offensive player of the year goes to Christian McCaffrey with 222 total points. Then it was Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, Lamar Jackson, and Dak Prescott. Josh Allen is nowhere to be found on this list, which makes absolute no sense at all. And defensive player of the year, Ed Oliver, I believe, really probably deserved to be on this list. Yes, Deron Bland and all his pick sixes, setting a record, getting some hype around that. But again, I think Ed Oliver could have easily been on this list. Max Crosby, Micah Parsons, who was shut out against the Buffalo Bills, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, those are all probably deserving to be on the list, but I really think Ed Oliver could have very well been on this list. CJ Stroud winning Offensive Rookie of the Year is totally deserving in my mind. He is a great young talent, very, very great player there, but Puka Nacua, Sam Laporta, and Dalton Kincaid, when you take a look at the overall stats between Sam Laporta and Dalton Kincaid, they're very, very close. So I just don't know why there was so much more hype around Sam Laporta over Dalton Kincaid. And I think Dalton Kincaid could have easily made it on this list too. Bijan Robinson definitely had a good year, but I think maybe he could have finished into that 5th place, especially with Sam Laporta being ahead of Jahmyr Gibbs. That's absolutely insane. Defensive Rookie of the Year, the Bills didn't have a Defensive Rookie of the Year to really go about here, so there's no snubbing going on by the NFL. Now, the biggest snub of them all is Comeback Player of the Year. Yes, Damar Hamlin finishes in 2nd place, but take a look at all the first place votes for Damar Hamlin. 21 first place votes, only 13 for Joe Flacco, but he had 26 second place votes and ends up ahead of Damar Hamlin at 151 total points compared to 140. This is absolutely mind-blowing to me. There is nothing more a player could ever overcome than what Damar Hamlin overcame by basically dying on the football field and signing up to come back and overcome that fear of potentially dying again, not ultimately knowing what was going to happen. Talk about being a comeback player of the year. Damar Hamlin totally deserved this award, and he got snubbed. Yes, Joe Flacco had a great story coming in late to the Cleveland Browns after Deshaun Watson goes down. right? Kind of reviving the Cleveland Browns. But the Bills made it further than the Cleveland Browns. Like, they really didn't do that well. Yes, they won a bunch of games at the end of the season, and it's a good storyline for the NFL to prop up another player for, to make more money potentially here. It's mind-blowing that Damar Hamlin did not win this award. In Coach of the Year, we got snubbed here because Sean McDermott isn't even listed. Kevin Stefanski of the Browns ends up winning it. DeMarco Ryans was a great coach. I think he was probably more deserving of the award. You could see they were tied at 165, tied in total points, but Stefanski had one more first-round vote, which propelled him against DeMarco Ryans. But Dan Campbell is also hardly any votes from Dan Campbell after the year that he had with 33, Kyle Shanahan 26, John Harbaugh with 26, but Sean McDermott calling defensive plays, having all the injuries happen on the defensive side of the football, having to turn the page from our offensive coordinator, dealing with that hit piece article that was released on him, and keeping this locker room tight and together. It was just absolutely remarkable thing to see for Sean McDermott. And I really believe Sean McDermott was totally deserving to get on this list, to be in the top 5 at least of Coach of the Year candidates. Assistant Coach of the Year, Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator, ends up getting it. Browns defensive coordinator. Man, I think Joe Brady could have very well been on this list too, considering that he won 5 of the last regular season games, all of which with our backs up against the wall. If we lost, we probably wouldn't have made the playoffs. Remarkable taking over in mid-season, kind of scooping up Ken Dorsey's scheme and rolling with it and being successful. It was a great thing to see. And for Joe Brady not to be on this list, I can't agree with that. And looking at the FedEx Air and Ground Players of the Year, going to Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, the Celebration of the Year, going Tommy DeVito, all the hype around Tommy DeVito, clearly a marketing ploy by the Giants to fill their seats. And also the Moment of the Year, CeeDee Lamb's 91-yard touchdown reception from Dak Prescott against the Cowboys in Week 17. I think Josh Allen had a ton of highlight reels, throwing the ball along the sidelines, doing some remarkable things, even in the playoffs. His long rushing touchdown, the longest that we've ever seen from a quarterback. And, 92-yard receiving touchdown is absolutely a great play too, but I just think the backyard footballness from Josh Allen, the creating a rabbit out of the hat, just doing some remarkable things. It was clearly should have been in the running here for one of the top plays. Let me know what you guys think if the Buffalo Bills truly got snubbed, whether it's Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, NFL MVP, Comeback Player of the Year with Damar Hamlin, Coach of the Year, Moment of the Year. I can't believe the Buffalo Bills did not appear on one of these things. It's just proof that the hate for Bills Mafia continues. The snubbing by small market Buffalo. The NFL just does not want us there. We don't sell tickets. We need to carry this chip on our shoulder and continue to carry it for 2024. Well, guys, if you appreciate this video, I deeply appreciate it. If you hit like and subscribed, 80% of you are not subscribed to the channel, so just make sure you take a look at that button. Make sure you hit it and you are subscribed to the channel. We have the Buffalo Chicken Wing merch from small to 5XL. We have different colors, hoodies, long sleeves, free shipping. Also, Course Careers, how I personally landed my full-time job. I wouldn't promote anything I didn't truly believe in. They're directly tied to employers. I had 5 employers reach out to me immediately after graduating the course, got hired immediately on my first interview. They teach a wealth of information in how to land an interview, how to succeed, how to build a portfolio, literally giving you all the skills that you need to land a 100% remote job. So click the link down there, check out their free introduction course. It's totally well worth it. Truly appreciate you guys. Hit like, subscribe, and go Bills.